Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to episode 3 of my pinhole photography adventures. If you haven't already seen episodes 1 and 2, I'll put links in the description below. Watch this one first anyway, it's all the same stuff, shooting photographs with a pinhole camera. This time I thought I'd try out some Ilford PanF50 and develop it in Ilford Perceptol. I'll talk more about that afterwards, but I bought 2 rolls of 120 film, the PanF50 here. And I just wanted to try it out with the pinhole camera. I've used it once before I think, or twice. Didn't really get on too well with it last time, but I thought I'd give it another go. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't have done, as you'll see in the video coming up. But I decided to go to a monastery on the Isle of Wight. I was driving around early one morning looking for something to photograph, and I stumbled across the monastery. I plotted up there and I thought, great, I'll get some nice architectural shots and see how we get on. So I'll run the video for you guys to see what I was up to. And then afterwards, I'll come back, show you some of the prints that I've made, and tell you what I thought about the Ilford PanF50 with the Perceptol and the pinhole camera. So this is episode 3 of my pinhole photography adventures, and today I'm at Quarr Abbey, which is a monastery on the Isle of Wight, and that's why I'm talking pretty quiet. If I don't want to start shouting around here, I'll probably get thrown out. But this is an absolutely amazing building, and I brought the pinhole camera out. It's nice and wide, hopefully to get some decent architectural photographs of this monastery. Unfortunately, it's too dark inside. I'm running a PanF50 film, which I'm going to be developing in Perceptol, and I understand there's a slight speed loss with Perceptol when you start developing, so I'm shooting it at 25. So to go inside this monastery and do some photographs on my pinhole camera, I've already been inside and done some metering. I'll be there for a couple of weeks, one exposure. I just had some guy outside just ask me if I could look at the football results on my phone. Not for last Saturday, the Saturday before. He said I've been here for a couple of weeks. He said I haven't read any papers or anything. So I gave him the football results. His team had won 3-2 2 weeks ago. So I think he was a monk, I'm not sure. But anyway, it's an absolutely beautiful building, and you can see behind me I've got my pinhole camera already set up on my first exposure, and I've got to allow for reciprocity failure. I've done some metering, so I'm not going to go into all the stuff of that, but I'm just going to take some photographs with the pinhole, get around here and show you guys some of the results at the end. So I'm on my 4th shot now, and this one's running at 2 minutes. I've got pulled these iron gates over a bit. Hope I don't get told off by someone for doing that. But pulled these iron gates over, so I've kind of got the iron gates, the top of the iron gate in the foreground, and the rest of the building in the background. So this one's going for 2 minutes. I've done some spot metering on the iron gate. Hopefully it'll probably blow the sky out, but you know, it's all practice and trial and error. So see what happens, eh? And if this is your first time watching one of my pinhole videos, have a look at my other pinhole videos. I'll put links up at the end of this video where I go into a little bit more detail on how to use the pinhole camera and how I meter for it as well. But for now, I'm just going to crack on and see what I can get around here. Oh wow, that's quite nice. I'm now walking off to find the ruins, I should say, of the old abbey that's probably centuries up. There's a dog grave there. There's another log coins. What's all that about? Yeah, sorry. I have to find the ruins of the original abbey that stood here hundreds of years ago. I don't know the history of it. I've not even looked up. I just drove past, kind of car park, see if I can get some pics. I don't know where these ruins are. I'm just walking through woodland. Hope I don't get lost again. I've got my phone this time. There's another grave. It's really strange. There's graves. As I'm walking through it, there's graves. I lost this geezer. How do I get to the ruins?
The ruins down here.
Oh, down that way, is it?
Yeah, just keep going.
Yeah?
Just keep going, really.
Just keep going down there?
See a little sign, a little plaque and a bench.
Lovely. All right, mate.
There's a pile of rubble.
There's a pile of rubble. I thought it might have been. All right, cheers. Well, it's quite a walk away from the new building, but it's just all ruins, like I said. But I can't go there. There's this gate stopping me going over there, and this is obviously a part of the old ruins as well. Someone's living in there. It looks really creepy. But if I go over that gate and get over there, no doubt someone will come and shove me off. So there's no point in going over there. But it doesn't look that great for photographs anyway. But yeah, creepy old building. I'm going to get a photograph of that. So that's it, I've come away from the monastery now, and I'm down the road. I've come down to a small port where you can see the boat there. That's the boat that takes us from the island to the mainland. I've come down to get a couple of shots of some boats. I've got 4 frames left, so there's some nice little rowing boats. I'll just show you. Right over there. There's a few here. I'm not too interested in these upturned ones. I think they're going to look naff. But there's a couple over there in reefs. Can't see, I'll take you closer. There's a couple over there in reefs, so if I can get over there. Hopefully I've done this right, my exposures. And I did put a post out on my community tab on YouTube, and I got some good comments back on that, on using PanF50 with Perceptol. I was looking at higher dilution at 1:3, although it's going to introduce a little bit more grain because this is Pinhole. I'll just be interested to see what that dilution in Perceptol will give me in way of sharpness. So I'm going to go with my gut and dilute at 1:3 and see what happens. You know, we can only learn by our mistakes. Jot shit down and try and rectify it next time. So right, let's have a look at these boats. So that was what I was up to, and to be honest with you, I wasn't over keen on the prints that I got or the negatives that I developed. And you know, to me, it's not a loss. It's all a learning curve and an educational experiment, if you like. Playing around with PanF50, the Pinhole camera, and Perceptol as well. Last time I used Perceptol, I've only ever used it once before, and I bought it, I developed it, and I used it once in development, and I accidentally put it in the wrong bottle, which I thought was a stop bath, and ended up chucking a Perceptol away thinking it was a bad stop. But so I decided to get some more Perceptol and give it a go. So why did I use Perceptol? Well, I know that Ilford's Perceptol is great, and if you read the description on Perceptol, it's great for the low-speed films, such as your FP4s, and especially the PanF50 as well. It gives you super fine grain. So that's one thing that I was looking for. And also, I diluted it at 1:3, and I did have some fantastic comments on my community tab on YouTube from other people. Some people said don't even bother. But, you know, when you've got a gut instinct and you think, do you know what? I'm going to have to. It's like someone telling you not to have a certain food. Don't try that. You won't like it. Well, you never know unless you do try it. So that's what I decided to do, was shoot the Ilford PanF50 in the pinhole, come back and develop in Perceptol 1:3. I was under this delusional thought that maybe I would get some increased sharpness in some of the prints. Now I know that the pinhole is quite soft when you're shooting it, but I just thought maybe just wanted to see what it would look like, and it didn't look no different to any other pinhole shot I've taken, to be honest with you, except the fine grain. When I was in the dark room looking under the grain finder, the focus finder, it was pretty tricky because I couldn't barely see any grain. So when I developed the negatives from the Monastery, I looked at them and they looked underexposed. I didn't give it enough time on the pinhole camera when I was doing my exposures. And, you know, I'm not surprised. I was using a Ilford PanF50 at 25 speed, because Perceptol, you've got to allow for a little bit of loss of speed. So I shot it at 25 and, you know, doing architectural stuff. There wasn't much clouds going on in the sky, so there was no reason to do long exposures like that. I think it'll be the last time that I ever put PanF50 in a pinhole camera, unless I want some really super long exposures for some reason. But so I wasn't over keen on the negatives when I got them. But however, you know, I did have a tricky time in the darkroom trying to make some prints, and these are some of the prints that I got back out the darkroom. That's the boat one there. Pretty much what I've showed you in the video. I'll just put that to one side. What else have I got? That was quite nice. The the gate. Come here, you little butt. Grow my nails. Right, that was quite nice. The gate that I pulled over. I did a bit of dodging on the Monastery there. But yeah, I quite enjoyed making that print. It took a bit of time as well. I'm quite happy with the result. So the second roll of PanF I shot at 50 speed, and I developed it in rod null, stand development. So I came back with some, I'll tell you why I did it in stand development, because I went to a farm to take some photographs, and also went to a boat harbour as well. And the sun was in and out. I wasn't too sure of my exposure, so I thought, well, you know, play on the safe side. I'll stand develop the film. At least that way, I'm going to come back with some reasonable results. And I did. This was the boat harbour, one of the prints that I did of the boat harbour. And I'll show you some of the DSLR scans that I did from that roll. So that's my third video on this pinhole camera, and I must admit that I had better experiences on the first two videos. I certainly had better prints and better negatives. Playing around with this PanF50, I'd say for the second time, and developing it in Perceptol is something new to me. And although people say, you know, people said don't bother on my community tab, like I said, it's always good to just go out and try these things, take it with your gut instinct and see what happens. As long as it's nothing important to you that you'll never be able to go back and reshoot, then don't tempt fate, you know. Use a film and developer that you trust. But in this case, I wanted to go and try out the Ilford PanF50 with the Perceptol. And I'm going to try it again, but not with the pinhole camera. I'll probably go out and shoot it with the Zeiss Icon, which has got a nice bit of glass, and see what results I can get from that. But for now, anyway, I'm going to close this one down, guys, and I'll let you know when my next pinhole photography adventure will be. I don't know when it will be, I don't know where it will be, but it's going to be coming episode 4, so look out for that. Is this light box that I use. I bought this a while back. It's just a ceiling light from a local DIY store, B&Q. You can pick them up for about 12 or so quid. And I put it on here, and this is what I use as a light box. Well, a guy called Stephen Amiar, he contacted me and said, where did you get it from? I told him, and he went one step further. So I'll put a link in the description to Steve's Instagram and also his YouTube channel, because he's got a great YouTube channel called Film Camera Reviews. He's reviewed tons of cameras over the past, so definitely check that guy out. Give him a thumbs up and give him a subscribe as well, and check his Instagram out. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. I hope you liked the video, and please like, subscribe and all that stuff. Thank you very much to the Patreons that support my channel, and I'll catch you next time. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button and the bell so you don't miss the next one.